It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius, they tell you to find yourself. That's a lie. You don't find yourself, you build yourself. You forge a fortress out of will and discipline, brick by painful brick. The world wants you weak, distracted, compliant. It feeds you comfort, entertainment, and endless distractions to keep you from realizing your potential. They profit from your weakness. They want you chasing fleeting pleasures instead of mastering your own mind. Their paradise is your prison. The truth is, the self isn't some hidden treasure waiting to be unearthed. It's a project, a continuous construction site. Every choice, every action either strengthens or weakens the walls of your mental bastion. Give in to temptation and you chip away at your foundation. Resist, and you add another layer of unyielding steel. It's a daily battle fought in the arena of your own mind. The enemy is the path of least resistance. You are the architect, the builder, and the defender of this inner sanctuary. The blueprints are your principles, the materials are your habits, and the mortar is your unwavering commitment to the cause. Don't wait for inspiration. Inspiration is for amateurs. You are a craftsman, a warrior, a master of your own destiny. Start laying the groundwork today, even if it's just one small act of self-discipline. One push-up, one page read, one temptation resisted. The world will test your defenses. It will throw every weapon it has at you: fear, doubt, temptation, and despair. But a well-built bastion can withstand any onslaught. It's not about being perfect, it's about being resilient. It's about getting back up every time you fall, stronger and more determined than before. It's about learning from your mistakes and using them as stepping stones to greater heights. This is not a game. This is your life. Your mental fortress is the only thing that truly protects you from the chaos and uncertainty of the world. It's the foundation upon which you build your success, your happiness, and your legacy. So stop searching for something that doesn't exist and start building something that will last. Start building your bastion. Start building yourself. The psychological warfare you wage against yourself is the most crucial battle you will ever fight. Your mind, untrained, is a breeding ground for weakness, a fertile field for self-doubt and crippling anxieties. It craves comfort, seeks pleasure, and avoids pain at all costs, even if that pain is the catalyst for growth. Understanding this inherent weakness is the first step in turning the tide. You must recognize the enemy within, the voice that whispers excuses, the urge to procrastinate, the fear of failure. This enemy is not some external force, but a part of yourself, a primal instinct that must be subdued, not eradicated. Trying to eliminate it entirely is a fool's errand, a war you cannot win. Instead, you must learn to control it, to harness its energy and redirect it towards your goals. Think of it as a wild beast that can be tamed and trained to serve your purpose. This requires constant vigilance, a relentless self-awareness that allows you to identify and neutralize these negative impulses before they take root. The moment you let your guard down, the moment you succumb to temptation, the beast gains strength and your bastion weakens. The psychology of self-discipline is not about suppressing your desires, but about understanding them and choosing your response. It's about recognizing that immediate gratification often comes at the expense of long-term fulfillment. The pleasure of indulging in a sugary treat might be intense, but it pales in comparison to the satisfaction of achieving a fitness goal. The comfort of avoiding a difficult task might be tempting, but it delays the progress you need to make. You must learn to delay gratification, to prioritize long-term rewards over immediate pleasure. This requires a shift in perspective, a conscious decision to focus on the bigger picture. Visualize the end result, the feeling of accomplishment, the pride in knowing that you overcame your weaknesses. Let that vision fuel your determination and guide your actions. Remember that every act of self-discipline, no matter how small, strengthens your mental fortitude and reinforces your commitment to your goals. It's a virtuous cycle. The more you resist temptation, the easier it becomes to resist in the future. Your mental bastion is not just a defensive structure, it's also a launchpad for action. It's the foundation upon which you build your confidence, your resilience, and your ability to take risks. When you have a strong inner core, you are less likely to be swayed by external pressures, less likely to be intimidated by challenges, and more likely to pursue your goals with unwavering determination. This requires cultivating a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities are not fixed but can be developed through effort and dedication. Embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, view setbacks as temporary obstacles, and never give up on your potential. The psychology of a growth mindset is rooted in the understanding that failure is not the opposite of success, but a stepping stone towards it. It's about learning from your mistakes, adapting to new situations, and continuously striving to improve. Furthermore, understand the power of mental rehearsal. Before any crucial encounter, any significant test, visualize success. See yourself performing flawlessly, overcoming obstacles, and achieving your desired outcome. This is not mere wishful thinking. It's a powerful psychological technique that can prime your mind and body for peak performance. By mentally rehearsing the desired outcome, you reduce anxiety, increase confidence, and improve your focus. Think of it as practicing the scenario in your mind, preparing yourself for any eventuality. The more vivid and detailed your visualization, the more effective it will be. Imagine the sights, sounds, and sensations of success. Feel the confidence coursing through your veins, the satisfaction of knowing that you are prepared. This mental preparation can give you a significant edge in any situation, allowing you to perform at your best when it matters most. Finally, remember that building your bastion is not a solitary endeavor. Surround yourself with people who support your goals, who challenge you to grow, and who hold you accountable for your actions. Avoid those who drain your energy, who undermine your confidence, and who encourage your weaknesses. Your social environment plays a crucial role in your psychological well-being. Choose your companions wisely and cultivate relationships that nourish your mind and spirit. Seek out mentors who can guide you on your path and learn from their experiences. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Make sure those people are lifting you up, not dragging you down. The journey to self-mastery is long and arduous, but it's a journey worth taking. Build your bastion, fortify your mind, and unleash your full potential. Consider this: you're negotiating a high-stakes deal. Months of work have led to this single moment. The other side is seasoned, ruthless, and prepared to exploit any weakness. They've studied your company, your team, your personal history. They know your pressure points, your ambitions, and your fears. Their goal isn't simply to reach an agreement, it's to extract the maximum possible value, leaving you with scraps. This isn't a game of polite conversation. It's a battle for survival, a psychological war waged across a mahogany table. You walk into the room knowing this. You've prepared your arguments, anticipated their objections, and rehearsed your responses. But that's not enough. They'll probe for cracks in your armor, looking for any sign of doubt, hesitation, or insecurity. They'll use subtle cues, body language, and carefully crafted words to unsettle you, to throw you off balance. They might start with a personal attack, questioning your competence or your integrity. They might try to intimidate you with their power, their wealth, or their connections. They might offer seemingly generous concessions, only to snatch them away later, leaving you feeling manipulated and betrayed. How do you defend against such tactics? You can't rely on charm or diplomacy. You need something more, something deeper. You need an unbreakable mental fortress, a bastion of self-control and unwavering focus. This isn't about being aggressive or confrontational. It's about maintaining your composure, staying true to your values, and refusing to be swayed by their psychological games. It's about understanding their tactics, recognizing their manipulations, and responding with calm, calculated precision. It's about knowing your worth, believing in your abilities, and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. They might try to rattle you with unexpected demands, to create a sense of urgency and panic. They might try to divide your team, to sow discord and mistrust. They might try to exhaust you with endless negotiations, to wear you down until you're willing to concede anything just to end the ordeal. But you will not break. You will remain steadfast, unyielding, and in control. You've visualized this scenario countless times, anticipating their every move, preparing your counter-strategies. You've steeled your mind against their attacks, reinforcing your resolve and strengthening your focus. You've surrounded yourself with a team of trusted advisors, people who support your goals and challenge your assumptions. You've learned from past mistakes, analyzed your weaknesses, and turned them into strengths. You know that this negotiation is not just about money or contracts. It's about principles, about honor, about your reputation. It's about showing them that you cannot be intimidated, that you cannot be manipulated, that you will not back down. As the pressure mounts, as the tension thickens, you draw upon your inner reserves of strength. You remember the sacrifices you've made, the challenges you've overcome, the goals you've set for yourself. You channel that energy into your voice, your demeanor, your every action. You become the embodiment of unwavering resolve, a force to be reckoned with. The negotiation continues, but the tide has turned. They sense your strength, your determination, your unyielding will. They realize that they cannot break you, that they cannot manipulate you, that they cannot win. Slowly, subtly, they begin to adjust their tactics, to soften their demands, to seek common ground. The final agreement is reached, not on their terms, but on yours. You've not only secured a favorable outcome, but you've also earned their respect. You've demonstrated the power of a fortified mind, the strength of unwavering resolve, the value of self-mastery. This is the power of building your bastion. The trap is this: weakness disguised as peace, the allure of ease, the comforting lie that you can avoid the fight. They lure you in with promises of shortcuts, of effortless success, of a world where you don't have to confront the darkness within yourself or the cruelty of the world outside. They tell you that you can skip the hard work, that you can bypass the discipline, that you can somehow achieve greatness without paying the price. They whisper that you're special, that you're deserving, that you shouldn't have to struggle. They offer you distractions, temptations, anything to keep you complacent, anything to keep you from becoming a threat. They feed your ego, inflate your sense of self-importance, make you believe that you're already where you need to be. They celebrate your mediocrity, praise your complacency, and ridicule your ambition. This is the siren song of the weak, the lullaby of the lost. It's the path of least resistance, the road to nowhere. The weak believe it because they want to believe it. They crave the validation, the acceptance, the easy way out. They're afraid of the pain, the discomfort, the uncertainty that comes with growth. They choose comfort over courage, pleasure over purpose, and ultimately, they choose stagnation over progress. This is why they fail. The weak seek external validation because they lack internal conviction. They need the approval of others to feel worthy, to feel validated, to feel like they're on the right track. They chase fleeting praise, empty compliments, and meaningless accolades. They're addicted to the dopamine rush of social media likes, the fleeting validation of online comments, the superficial connections of virtual relationships. They mistake popularity for respect, attention for affection, and followers for friends. They're constantly seeking external validation because they're empty inside. They haven't built a solid foundation of self-worth, of inner confidence, of unwavering belief in their own abilities. They're dependent on external forces to prop them up, to tell them who they are, to tell them what they should do. This is a dangerous trap because external validation is fickle, unreliable, and ultimately meaningless. It can be taken away at any moment, leaving you feeling empty, lost, and vulnerable. The strong, on the other hand, seek internal validation. They know their own worth, they trust their own judgment, and they believe in their own abilities. They don't need the approval of others to feel good about themselves. They find validation in their own achievements, in their own growth, in their own progress. They measure themselves against their own standards, not against the standards of others. This is the key to true strength and unwavering resilience. The weak crumble under pressure because they haven't trained themselves to withstand it. They've avoided discomfort, they've shied away from challenges, they've coddled themselves in a bubble of ease and convenience. When faced with adversity, they panic, they crumble, they give up. They lack the mental toughness, the emotional resilience, the sheer willpower to persevere through difficult times. They let their emotions control them. They succumb to fear and doubt. They allow themselves to be overwhelmed by the challenges they face. They haven't built the mental framework necessary to withstand the storms of life. The strong, on the other hand, thrive under pressure. They've trained themselves to embrace discomfort, to welcome challenges, to push themselves beyond their limits. They understand that pressure is a catalyst for growth, a crucible that forges strength and resilience. They don't shy away from difficult situations, they actively seek them out. They see pressure as an opportunity to test their limits, to refine their skills, to prove their mettle. They've built the mental framework necessary to withstand the most intense pressure, to remain calm and focused in the face of adversity, to emerge stronger and more resilient than ever before. This is the difference between those who break and those who become unbreakable. The weak are easily manipulated because they lack critical thinking skills. They blindly accept information without questioning it, they follow trends without understanding them, and they believe everything they see and hear. They're susceptible to propaganda, to misinformation, to the manipulations of those who seek to control them. They lack the ability to discern truth from falsehood, to separate fact from fiction, to think for themselves. They're easily swayed by emotions, by biases, and by the opinions of others. They're puppets dancing to the strings of those who know how to pull them. The strong, on the other hand, are critical thinkers. They question everything, they analyze information, and they form their own conclusions. They don't blindly accept anything, they demand evidence, they seek understanding. They're immune to propaganda, to misinformation, to the manipulations of others. They have the ability to discern truth from falsehood, to separate fact from fiction, to think for themselves. They're independent thinkers, capable of forming their own opinions and making their own decisions. This is the key to freedom and autonomy. The weak are consumed by negativity because they haven't learned to control their thoughts. They dwell on their failures, they obsess over their weaknesses, and they focus on the negative aspects of their lives. They're trapped in a cycle of self-pity, self-doubt, and self-loathing. They allow their negative thoughts to control their emotions, their actions, and ultimately, their destiny. They haven't learned to master their own minds. The strong, on the other hand, are masters of their own minds. They understand the power of thought, and they use it to their advantage. They focus on their strengths, they learn from their failures, and they cultivate a positive mindset. They practice gratitude, they visualize success, and they surround themselves with positive influences. They don't allow negative thoughts to control them. They challenge them, they reframe them, and they overcome them. They've learned to harness the power of their minds to create the reality they desire. This is the ultimate form of self-mastery. The path to building your bastion, your impenetrable mental fortress, demands a cold and calculated approach. It's not enough to simply wish for resilience, you must engineer it. Understand that the world doesn't reward kindness, it rewards strength. Naivety is a liability, and expecting fairness is a fool's game. The Machiavellian approach, stripped of its moral judgment, is simply a strategy for survival and dominance. It's about understanding human nature, predicting behavior, and manipulating events to your advantage. This isn't about becoming a villain, it's about understanding the villainous tactics that others will use against you so you can neutralize them. Start by dissecting the motivations of everyone around you. What do they want? What are they afraid of? What are their weaknesses? Once you understand their underlying drives, you can anticipate their actions and control their influence. This doesn't require grand schemes or elaborate plots. It's about subtle adjustments, strategic positioning, and calculated responses. It's about playing the long game, understanding that every interaction is an opportunity to gain leverage or protect yourself from exploitation. Learn to read between the lines. Pay attention to body language, vocal tone, and unspoken assumptions. Most people reveal their true intentions through subtle cues. Develop the ability to detect these signals, and you'll gain an invaluable advantage. Cultivate a network of informants, people who can provide you with inside information and early warnings. These individuals don't need to be close friends. They simply need to have a vested interest in providing you with accurate intelligence. Offer them something in return, whether it's money, favors, or access to your own network. Remember, information is power, And the more you know, the better equipped you'll be to navigate the treacherous landscape of human interaction. Embrace deception as a tool, not a moral failing. Learn to lie convincingly, to conceal your true intentions, and to create plausible narratives that serve your interests. This doesn't mean becoming a pathological liar. It means understanding the power of strategic misdirection. Use it sparingly, and only when necessary to protect yourself or advance your goals. Study the art of war. Read Sun Tzu's The Art of War, Machiavelli's The Prince, and other classic texts on strategy and tactics. These books offer timeless insights into the nature of conflict, the principles of leadership, and the importance of planning. Apply these lessons to your own life, treating every challenge as a battle to be won. Develop a ruthless sense of self-preservation. Prioritize your own well-being above all else. Don't be afraid to cut ties with toxic people, to abandon failing projects, or to walk away from situations that threaten your stability. Your mental fortress is your sanctuary, and you must defend it at all costs. Learn to detach yourself emotionally from outcomes. Don't let setbacks derail you, and don't let